Hello everyone, my name is Katie Harris, and as an athletic trainer, I will be answering the question of what diet modifications should be made for an athlete that wants to change to a vegan diet in the following video. Before discussing this information though, it should be mentioned that as an athletic trainer, it is not in my scope of practice to prescribe a dietary program to the athlete. I am, however, a certified health professional with an accredited certification that covered basic nutritional information. Therefore, I am capable of providing basic and well-accepted nutritional information to athletes. I am presenting this information as a research-based suggestion that applies to the athlete in general, to make sure no dietary needs are missed or overconsumed, or if the athlete just wants further information, I would refer them to a registered dietitian for their individual needs. With the growth of veganism becoming more accepted in sports, research that discusses how to manage vegan diets for athletic purposes is lacking, but a literature review was conducted to provide recommendations for athletes on a vegan diet. Rajeshan found in a 2017 study that the greatest challenge from veganism is designing a nutritious diet with sufficient energy and protein. However, with strategic management, the dietary needs of most athletes can be completed adequately. This limitation with the study, though, is that the further empirical research needs to examine the effects of vegan diets, and this review of literature was small simply because the research available is low. The challenge with a vegan diet for athletes is adequate caloric intake and proper recovery after events. The athlete would not be consuming any animal-sourced foods such as meat, poultry, fish, honey, or dairy products. The most common hesitation against a vegan diet is because athletes worry that they will not consume enough of the right food to entirely recover after a strenuous workout. It is, however, quite possible to be a high-performance athlete on a specialty diet as long as proper planning is done to consume enough of the right food. The concern with an athlete changing their diet to veganism is that animal products contain large amounts of protein, zinc, iron, calcium, and vitamin B, which are not as easily found in plants. If these nutrients are not consumed in large quantities, the athlete can feel lethargic, which is detrimental to performance and recovery. However, according to Furman and Ferrari in a 2010 study, there are many alternative options that provide excellent sources of these nutrients as long as they become the basis of the athlete's diet. This study found that while there are possible shortcomings of a vegan diet, calcium and iron can be obtained readily on a vegan diet. To substitute dairy products, an athlete should consume fortified plant milk, either soy or almond. Good protein sources for veganism include nuts, nut butter, tofu, soy products, lentils, beans, and legumes. To supplement the loss of vitamin B12, fortified cereals, plant milk, tofu, and kelp can be consumed. Iron intake levels can be improved with the consumption of lentils and leafy greens such as spinach, broccoli, kale, and kelp. In order to keep calcium intake levels up, fortified cereals, tofu, spinach, broccoli, and kale should be added to the athlete's diet. Finally, zinc should be consumed through beans, sunflower seeds, and kelp. Based on the individual, concern would be that even with these substitutions, vitamin B12 and zinc may need to be supplemented, according to a 2010 study by Furman and Ferrari. Vitamin B12 intake levels may still be low because absorption from plants is dependent on the soil it was grown in. Also, while beans, whole grains, and nuts have high zinc content, these foods also inhibit absorption of iron and zinc, so vegans actually need to consume about 50% higher zinc levels than the U.S. reference daily intake suggests. Therefore, the author suggests that a supplement in these cases. I would suggest that the athlete sees a registered dietitian before a supplement is taken to fully evaluate the athlete's vitamin levels and diet in order to have no dietary deficiencies. An adjusted food pyramid for vegans has been made that states 1 to 2 cups daily should come from fortified dairy substitutes, and 1 to 2 cups should come from beans and seeds, such as buckwheat, quinoa, flaxseed, hemp seed, or chia seeds, with 1 to 2 ounces of this specifically from nuts. 3 to 5.5 cups should come from whole grains such as starchy vegetables like potatoes and sweet potatoes, brown rice, pasta, and whole wheat bread. 2 to 4 cups of all kinds of vegetables, cooked and raw, should be eaten daily, and 1.5 to 2.5 cups should come from fruits. Fat should be consumed sparingly. The 2010 study by Furman and Ferrari also suggests that athletes should still be consuming about 1.6 to 1.9 grams per kilogram of weight per day of protein, depending on training duration and intensity, which can be challenging for a vegan but can be accomplished because it is still effective to consume multiple sources of protein throughout the day. This means, according to the calculations by these authors, a 150-pound endurance athlete should consume 120 grams of protein, and a 200-pound strength athlete should consume 160 grams of protein. This study supplied ample suggestions on dietary choices for veganism in athletes, but further research should still be conducted to confirm the effectiveness of enhanced intake of suggested foods to maximize performance, recovery, and resistance to illness. However, to really succeed as an endurance athlete, primarily carbohydrates are important for fuel and recovery. Vegan athletes need to consume enough dietary energy for athletic performance and to support the body's metabolic processes after intense exercise to allow for recovery and repair. According to Kursick et al., in a 2017 study, the restoration of glycogen stores is the most essential macronutrient to recover fully. According to these authors, the consumption of carbs for recovery of normal glycogen levels should be completed by eating about half a gram per pound of body weight right after exercising. Research supporting the effectiveness of vegan diets on athletes is limited, but there are endurance runners that are very successful at this specialty diet. The 2014 case study conducted by Leszek and Spelsberg presented findings of a raw vegan ultra triathlete compared to 10 triathletes on a mixed diet. Based on information gathered through echocardiography, spirometry, and blood samples, the vegan diet showed no dietary deficiencies or impaired health, since the diet was nutritionally complete. This is an important study that compared athletes at equal competition levels with a highly monitored diet. However, the limitation is that it is based on one person's results. This limits the generalization of the study. The modifications that need to be made to an athlete's diet if they want to be vegan are important to keep up their athletic performance. As long as proper nutritional planning is being made to make up for those loss of the easily accessible protein, zinc, iron, calcium, and vitamin B, a vegan diet is safe for athletes.